Okay, so welcome to Mr. Small's first video lesson of the year. So today we're going to talk about the equation of a circle, and our learning goals for today are to write the equation of a circle with the center 0, 0, determine whether a given point is inside, outside, or on the circle, and then graph a circle given its equation. So first, do this warm-up, so pause the video, and I want you to do this warm-up, and once you're done, play the video and see how it went. Okay, so hopefully you actually did it and you paused and did the warm-up. So let's go through this. Sorry, my cat is messing with my video already. So determine the distance between the points 0, 0, and 2, -5. So first things first, let's label our coordinates. So if we have x1, y1, x2, y2, remember our distance formula is d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Since we labeled our points already, all we have to do is just sub in the values that we know. So we have 2 minus 0 squared plus -5 minus 0 squared. Okay, so we'll get 4 plus -5 squared is 25. Distance equals the square root of 29. Okay. So remember, like I said before, if you're comparing distances, you don't need to calculate the square root of 29. The square root of 29 is the more exact answer, so this will be okay on assessments when I ask for that. Yeah. So hopefully you did well in the warm-up. If not, try it again. Okay. I'm not there to do practice questions with you, but if you do have homework questions, either save them for tomorrow or talk about them with people around you and during the homework period, and you can work on that. Okay, so once again, there's going to be some pausing in this video. So I want you to give this a whirl. So find a point that is 10 units away from the origin. Remember, the origin is the point 0, 0. So center of our graph. So I want you to pause the video and actually do it, and find a point that is 10 units away from the origin. Okay. So once again, hopefully you paused. So points that you should have got are 10, 0, 0, 10, -10, 0, or 0, -10. Okay. This means that on our axis, so if this is our axis, okay, the easiest points to figure out are these guys here. Okay, where it's 10 units away from the origin, so 10 this way, so it'll be 10, 0, this way, 0, 10, etc. Okay? But now I want you to try something different and try to find a point other than 10, 0, -10, 0, 0, 10, or 0, -10. Okay, so pause the video, see what you come up with. Talk to people around you. You can still talk. Just take out a headphone and see where they're at. Okay. So in your investigations there, you should have seen something that happened. So what is formed by all the points that are 10 units away from the origin? Okay. So if we have our axis here, and from before, we found our points. There's a point there, point there, point there. We found a point there. Okay. So when you found the other points, it should have started to look like this. Okay, no matter what points you found. And what shape is that? That's right, it's a circle. Okay. So if I draw this on here, it's not perfect. Looks pretty good though. Okay. So if you had some issues finding those points, we're going to do a little example together of how we actually found those points. These guys right here. So using our distance formula, because we knew our distance had to be 10, x2 minus x1 squared plus, oh, that plus is not good. Okay, there's our formula. We knew our distance was supposed to be 10, so we can fill that in. And remember, if we're starting at the origin, we know this point is 0, 0. So in fact, we can sub it in to one of our points. Okay, perfect. And we can evaluate this a little bit. Simplify. So I'll have x2 squared plus y2 squared. And our goal is to get either x2 or y2 by itself. I'm going to get y2 by itself. Okay. So we're going to square both sides. So we get 100 equals x2 squared plus y2 squared. And then I'm going to move the x2 squared over. Perfect. And then square root both sides to get y2 by itself. Good. Okay. So what we can do is we can choose, because we have a little formula here that we made up, we can choose any x value from 0 to 10. And if we plug this into our formula, it'll tell us the y value at our circle. So because this number is going to work out nicely, I chose 6. So let me just add that in there. So sub in x2 equals 6. Okay. If you did this before, if you're doing it now, and you got a decimal answer with a different number, that's fine. It's still a point on our circle. So we will get 100 minus 6 squared. Let's move this up. So y2 equals 100 minus 36, 64. And look what I dropped, my squareds. So make sure you don't do that. I don't have you guys with me to yell at me, but I'm glad I caught it. So y2 equals 8. Okay. So our point on our circle, so therefore the point is 6, 8. Okay. So that's how we found a point on our circle. What we just found is in fact our formula, okay? Because the radius, so in this question, the radius or distance from the origin to the circle was 10. And here it is. This is the part where we found the formula, okay? So properly, r is the radius, equals x squared plus y squared. And this is the equation of a circle for the center at 0, 0. Okay? If the center is not at 0, 0, it's a whole different ballgame. We don't have to look at that this year in this course, so don't fret about that. But for 0, 0, this is our guy, this is our formula. Okay, so let's get some practice with it. So example 1, write the equation for the circle with center 0, 0 and the given radius. So like I always say, start with the formula. So r squared equals x squared plus y squared. Okay. Our radius is 3. Just sub in our information. And then just simplify what you can. So 9 equals x squared plus y squared. When you are doing the equation of a circle, you need to make sure that you are simplifying, because 3 squared equals x squared plus y squared. It's not completely wrong, but it's not in proper form. So whatever needs to be simplified needs to be simplified for our complete solution. So make sure you do that. This one, radius of 13. So right now you should pause the video, give it a shot, and then press play to check your answers. So here we have r squared equals x squared plus y squared. Sub in our value, 13 squared equals x squared plus y squared. So 169 equals x squared plus y squared. And that is the equation of the circle with a radius of 13 and a center of 0, 0. Okay. Example number 2. So determine the radius of the circle is 0, 0, and the given equation, round to the nearest tenth if necessary. Okay. So how are we going to find this radius? We know that r squared equals 25. Okay, because remember, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. How do we get r by itself? We take the square root. But remember, when we take the square root of a number, it can be positive or negative. Because 4 squared is 16, but also negative 4 squared is 16. So by that logic, if we take the square root of a number, it can be positive or negative. So r can in fact be positive or negative 5. But here's when you have to think of the context of the problem. What is r? R is a radius. R is a distance. So can we have a negative distance? No, we can't. So the value is positive or negative 5, but distance cannot be negative. So what does r equal? R equals 5. Okay. Since we discussed this, since I showed you this and explained it to you, from here on out, you don't need to show the positive or negative part for your calculations. You can go to what the radius actually equals. So here, r squared equals 37. So r equals the square root of 37. And remember what set the nearest tenth if necessary. So here it is. So r equals 6.1. Okay. Cool. Next example, low battery. We should be good. Determine the radius of a circle given its center and a point on the circumference. So here, for both of them, because this is what we're working with this unit, our center is 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so we have our center of 0, 0. We have our point here. So our point values, that'll be the x and y. Okay, so our formula, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So this time we don't have the radius. That's what we're trying to determine. So plug in what we know. So 6 squared plus negative 8 squared. Remember, make sure that you have the negative 8 in brackets because it's negative 8 times negative 8. So we'll get 36 plus 64. Look at these numbers. Great. So 36 plus 64 is 100. So therefore, here. Therefore, 10 equals r. Okay, and that's the radius. We found it. Pause the video. Try this one by yourself. And we're back. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. Here are x and y values. Sub them in. Let's get 4 plus 9 is r squared, which is 13 equals r squared. Don't forget to square root it. So r equals 3.6. Okay? Now, example 4. Find the equation of the circle with center 0, 0, passing through the point 4, 3. This is almost kind of similar to the last one. We do need to find our radius. So x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Sub in the values we know. Evaluate them. So 25 equals r squared. Okay. Remember though, so you could take this further and say r equals 25. But remember, in our formula right here, x squared plus y squared equals r squared, that is our end goals for this question. Okay. So we need to put our r squared value back into our formula. So therefore, the equation is x squared plus y squared equals 25. Now the reason, remember, we have x and y still as variables is because as we have our circle, the x and y values need to be able to change. But what's not changing, what is constant, is the radius, which is 5. So our r squared value is 25, and that's not going to change. Okay? So when I ask for the equation of a circle, these need to be in general terms, so x and y, and we should find our radius, or r squared value. Okay? Last example, I believe. Does the point 6, -3 lie outside, inside, or on the circle of a circle with the equation of x squared plus y squared equals 49? So, take pause, think of what you could do, what information you have. So if this is our x value, and this is our y value, we can sub those values in. I'm just going to rewrite it here. So if we have 6 squared less -3 squared equals 49, evaluate that. So we have 49 something, or 45 something 49. Okay, so this is when it comes, you need to remember that your symbols less than, greater to, or, well, you know your equal signs. So 45 is less than 49. So what does that mean? So if our point is less than, that means it's going to be inside our circle. If this value is greater than 49, that means our x and y coordinate is going to be outside. Or if we had 49 equals 49, that means it's on the circle. Okay. So if this value is smaller than our r squared value, inside. If it's bigger than our squared value, outside. If the same, is equal. So with these questions, make sure they'll therefore just state your answer. So therefore the point 6, -3 is inside the circle. Okay. So give the homework a go. Remember, we have a nugget quiz on Wednesday on stuff today and tomorrow. And here's your homework. You have lots of time to practice, or you should. If you have any issues, rewind the video, watch it again, watch parts you need to. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.